John has come to London to meet military historian Andy Robertshaw.
Good morning.
Thanks for seeing me.
Not at all.
Because I've been doing some research into my one of my relatives, Charles Bishop, and what I found is that he was a lay vicar in the census in 1861.
Right.
But prior to that, he was in the army.
Yep.
And I can't work out what happened in between.
Well, what we can do is use this material here. These are the quarterly pay lists for an infantry regiment. And your relative, Charles Bishop, joins as a boy soldier. There he is. And he's being paid at basically 4p a day, not a full rate of pay, because he's actually only 14 years old. And he's also only 4'11" high.
Where's the 4'11".
Well, that's his height. 4'11.5" tall.
He's a foot smaller.
Isn't he?
When we next find records of him, it was getting married in 1852 in Quebec. Is there anything that fills in the gap between 1838 and 52?
Well, by 1841, the regiment's moved to Bermuda.
Bermuda?
So he's gone to Bermuda. And look at this one here. To pay at 1p extra from the 30th of June. Why is he getting a penny extra?
The band?
Yeah.
He's in the band?
He's in the band.
He's in the band in Bermuda?
Yeah, yeah. So what he's done, he's now not just an infantryman, he's now in the band. And obviously the music's really important for regiment, ceremonials, parades, marching. He's now getting extra pay because he's in the band.
Do we know what he played in the band? Would we be able to find that out?
That's one we don't know. We just don't know what he's doing in the band.
He was in Bermuda, it was probably the triangle. Hey, I'll leave it. What? Come on. No, is it that type of show? We're having a giggle.
It could well be. I don't think it was a steel band, though. But then what happens is that he gets better from there because he does so well that by 1849...
Oh, don't tell me he's the lead singer.
No. He goes to corporal, OK, in the band, yeah, which again is even more money. Then the unit then moves round Canada into Ontario and eventually up to Montreal. And at that point, he marries a girl who is the daughter of a soldier. He then comes back from Canada, yeah, back to the UK. The last one gives some useful information. Abbreviation sergeant.
Leader of the band.
Yep. He's actually the band sergeant. He is now in charge of the band. No longer just a musician, he's the band sergeant. There he is again, 1st of July to the 30th of September. But you'll see his name's crossed out in red.
Discharged.
Yep.
30th of September on payment of £5.
It's the equivalent of today between £8,000 and £10,000 he pays the paymaster to leave the army. Now,
so he bought himself out?
He bought himself out. And the critical thing about that is that he would have been entitled within 6 years to a pension. So he's gone.
But wouldn't that give you more of an incentive to stay in then?
There must have been something that said there's time to get out now. But it's a hell of a risk, but must be a reason for that. And as to what his wife thought, I don't know. She's heavily pregnant on that voyage all the way back.
So he left the army?
Yeah.
Just when he needed the security most?
Yeah.
And he actually paid a bounty to do that?
Correct.
But we don't know why. The shock is that he joined the band, but obviously the band seemed to be the vehicle to move him forward in the ranks. But what I find crazy is that he then goes to Canada, marries Catherine, comes back to England, has a baby, and then a couple of months later pays what would have been a king's ransom to then leave the army. And that's the bit that intrigues me. I want to find out more about what would have motivated him to make such a massive decision. The last information that I know is that in 1861 he was in Chichester. So I think the most sensible thing is to go to Chichester and perhaps look at church records and try and fill in some gaps in between.
John is meeting organist Alan Thurlow to find out what would have brought an army band leader to Chichester Cathedral.
What we have here are the chapter minutes, and what we managed to find is October in 1853. Would you like to read that?
Charles Bishop was admitted as a
Probationer, that's...
Oh, probationer for
yeah.
the office of a lay vicar of this cathedral.
But of course, lay vicar is a deceptive title. It's actually a musical job. He came to sing in the choir.
So that title of a lay vicar means that you work within the church, but you're not necessarily
Yes.
a religious person.
One would hope that the people who come and sing in the choir have some feeling for what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the requirement of the job is a musical one, and it's quite a dedicated team. It's a small team with just 6 men, 2 altos, 2 tenors, 2 basses, and they're making music daily on a very high standard.
What I'd love to do is, if it's possible, is to see where he actually sang.
Yes, absolutely. That's downstairs in the cathedral. Shall we go down and look at that?
Mm-hmm.
The cathedral dates back to the 11th century, and evensong is still sung daily, as it has been for hundreds of years.
To be honest, I think that was quite an emotional experience, because it wasn't until I heard them sing that you realised not only how brilliant they are as singers, but how different they are. You know, there were 6 men there with different voices, so we would have had to have filled the gap that was available. But to actually sit there and listen to the song resonate, and think that he would have been singing it, he would have been singing like that. I don't know, it's like, you can almost touch it. The lady I was sat next to said that there's a saying that the walls here have had 900 years of people singing and people laughing and people crying. And when you sit here, it's just your turn to share it. And that's what it felt like. It felt like my turn to be in the same place that he was in. I mean, the atmosphere in this place is gorgeous, and I would imagine the difference is that you're a musician first, whereas in the army you're a soldier first who plays music, and is in the band here. You know, that's your job, to be a musician. That was obviously what he loved doing. So I think that gave him that sense of following his own, I suppose, his own passion, which is really odd when I think of my own journey, because he came to music relatively late in his army career. He was in the army for 7 years before he appears to be in the band. And then he decides to take a big chance by leaving the army to carry on being more of a musician than a soldier, which does mirror to some extent my own life.